Today. This is going to be a great show. I'm Charlotte Bergman. I'm your host for Political Talk with Charlotte. Please join me today. Invite your friends to join me. We're going to be discussing some topics of interest to you. Um, they're really very interesting topics, and I hope you enjoy them like I did when I was doing my research to bring them to you. But before we get started, I want to remind you, it's always my book, The Last Trumpet. I hope you will consider, if you have not read it, to check it out on Amazon.com or any of the other online bookstores. Check out my book and then let me know what you think by leaving a comment, because that will help other people to feel that it is an important book to read. And when you purchase my book, you help me to actually be able to present this channel to you. So anyway, let's get started on our show. We've got some great things planned for you today. I hope you will enjoy them. Here we go. Okay, I don't think my music actually played. I couldn't hear it. Hi for joining me. Thanks for joining me. As I said, thank you for supporting me, supporting this book, for supporting this channel. My book, The Last Trumpet. I probably had not been discussing it as deeply as I should have, but I wrote this book with the intentions of helping us to win the 2020 election. And in the book, there are pointers in order to provide ways that you yourself can get involved to preserve this nation, to make sure that this battle for America is successful. In order to figure out what needs to be done, I suggest you get the book, enjoy it, and thank you for joining me today. I am so happy that you decided to join my show today. Woo-hoo! Great day, great show planned for you today. I do not have a guest. Last week, I discussed that we will have Justin Johnson, and I got my dates mixed up, but rest assured, we're going to have Justin Johnson on our show, and he is one of those people that actually does what is necessary in order to help us to maintain freedom in our nation. You know, freedom comes about as a result of our consistent, constant vigilance. I mean, once we get legislation passed, once we get a congressional member uh, in in Congress or at the state level or wherever you vote them in, you can't just sit back and relax. Freedom requires constant vigilance. That means you've got to reach out to them. And one of the main people that I'm starting this show out today to discuss is Brent Taylor. And in all candor, Brent Taylor is my state representative. And I have really been pleased with the things that he has been doing. He has not been sitting back and just receiving a check or just sitting back and being compliant to whatever people are coming up with in order to make sure he doesn't rock the boat. Brent Taylor rocks the boat. He is vigilant. I have actually texted him some concerns I have about legislation, and he has responded consistently. But what he's recently done, and many of you already know that Brent began fighting, helping us to fight crime in our community. A lot of people say that they are tired of crime. Um, who said that? Who said that? Oh, I remember. Jim Strickland. Jim Strickland, who has been the mayor for the last 8 years, says, I'm so tired of crime. He's had the bully pulpit. He's been able to do something, but he has not done it. And just wonder, is crime a booming business for corrupt politicians and for people? Yeah, I said it. For corrupt politicians or people who have a reason or a desire to make sure that we are constantly divided and constantly at each other. I don't know. Tell me what you think. But anyway, what Brent Taylor said was, he said, "I love this city, and my city is under siege." He made that announcement. He discussed that a few weeks ago. He sent a letter to Governor Bill Lee uh, in the wake of the St. Jude doctor murder. This doctor was taking a walk with his family when a smash and grab thief targeted his family and murdered the father, a doctor in our community. The doctor had given him, the thief, his wallet and what he requested. And then the thief decided to get greedy and went after his wife. And that's when the doctor intervened and he was murdered for trying to protect his family. Then we have multiple smash and grab thieves targeting convenience stores. We had a group of thieves looting our FedEx tractor trailer at a red light. Stop at a red light. You're supposed to obey the traffic, and what happens? You got thieves that loot your truck, and you are responsible. And then there's more reckless driving in the form of donuts that shut down certain stretches of our expressway, I-240 specifically. Donuts is when they drive their car in circles. Now you're driving down the street and you see a car just driving around in circles. This actually is cause for concern and fear. So what Brent Taylor did was he requested unannounced highway patrol surges to the Memphis interstates and state routes to increase the presence of law enforcement. So basically, the idea was get the highway patrols to patrol the highways and provide the law enforcement who have been patrolling those areas to actually focus on the crimes that are occurring in the city. I have driven down the streets and I've seen people with plastic on their vehicle. And you know why they have the plastic? It's because their vehicles have been, somebody has tried to either break into their vehicles or smash their windows and stolen something. These things are terrible. So now, what Brent Taylor, Tennessee State Senator Brent Taylor, is addressing is he wants the Shelby County judge and the DA investigated. Yes, he wants them investigated because there was an illegal release. It was an illegal release of a man who is serving 162 years. Okay, here's what happens. Now, Brent Taylor, he represents Memphis suburbs, including where I live. And he's calling for an investigation into what he calls illegal restorative justice schemes by the Shelby County District Attorney, Steve Morroy. This guy's name comes up all the time on the negative side of crime. And Shelby County Criminal Court Judge Paula Scahan. Now, just recently, my son served on a case. And it was, I'm going to say, it was a white guy who had raped a young girl from the age of 11 or so. And I think she was 18 when the case was brought up. The judge actually sentenced him for years in prison. But on the other side of where my son was Judge Scahan's court. And it's pretty much silent for the most part. She's in criminal court 1. Well, Brent Taylor is asking or has sent a letter to the Board of Judicial Conduct and the Tennessee Board of Professional Responsibility, asking the groups to investigate Scahan and the DA's office, that's Steve Morroy, concerning actions in the cases of Courtney Anderson and Michael Semple. Brent said, I'm asking the Tennessee Board of Judicial Conduct to review the actions of Judge Paula Scahan regarding her apparent advocacy of a criminal defendant and her personal bias concerning previous judicial officials. He says it appears Judge Scahan used the powers of her office to get a man released from prison, knowing she had no such power. Brent said he's asking the Board of Professional Responsibility to determine if Mulroy played a role in the cases. Is Mulroy behind the scenes, who is supposed to be representing and protecting the citizens? Is he encouraging the judges to release criminals? I don't know. What do you think? Brent goes on to say this is a capital case where the district attorney stipulated to facts with no proof. No proof was offered, and the judge accepted the stipulation as to the mental state of the death row inmate without question. This individual will soon be eligible for release into the community, which could be early as August of 2024. Oh my goodness. Do you think that's right? Do you think that's fair? I ask you to consider it and give me your feedback in terms of what do you think. I appreciate you following me, and I appreciate you listening to the show, because we're going to get into some more interesting topics. And I mentioned earlier about the price of vigilance. The actual quote is, the price of liberty, of freedom, is eternal vigilance. That means once we elect someone to office, our job just begins. We're going to make sure they do what we want them to do. Oh, more people are joining the show. Thank you. Send me a text. Let me know what you think, because I'm on a roll right now. I really am. And I hope that you also appreciate what I'm discussing. But before I go on, I want to ask you to support this channel. Yes, I want to ask you to support this channel. This channel, my show airs on YouTube, and you can find it at Bergman for Congress. If you go to YouTube and type in Bergman for Congress, you should find my channel. On BitChute, you should find it on the Political Talk with Charlotte. Political Talk with Charlotte. On Rumble, you should find it under Elect Bergman. On Facebook, you should find it at Elect Bergman. And if you're on my regular Facebook page, you should find it at charlotte.bergman.9. And last but not least, you should find it on Twitter at Elect Bergman. Now, the reason I asked you to check my page out is because if you go to my page, you subscribe to my page, I get paid. And in addition to that, what I have to share, instead of you putting your foot in your mouth and you want somebody to hear the truth, just send them my show and let them listen to me tell the truth. Thank you so much in advance for your help. Oh, we're on a roll, guys. The next subject that I want to talk about is yours and my favorite, Joe and Hunter Biden. Joe and Hunter Biden. You know, the first son, Hunter, commingled his finances with Joe Biden during his time in and out of the White House. The House Oversight Committee released new bank records from Hunter Biden that showed a recurring $1,380,000 payment from his Owasco PC business account to Joe Biden. The first recorded payment occurred on August 17, 2018. And it coincided with what is likely one of Hunter Biden's final payments from Hudson West III, a joint venture he started with a Chinese energy tycoon. Guys, this is literally the most simplest form of money laundering. And when an elected official or their family members are engaged in money laundering, they have at their disposal the FBI, the CIA, the various three-letter agencies, they can get the information and they can share it with foreign countries. And what happens? We're getting what is happening now. We're getting a country that is becoming bankrupt. We're getting a country that most people do not respect. Hunter Biden was doing this because he was spelling out his father's influence. And now the House Republicans are expressing concerns about alleged commingling of funds between Hunter Biden's business and Joe Biden's personal account. I wanted to share with you guys what Speaker Johnson had to say about this. So give me a second and let me bring this up for you so you can hear for yourself Joe Biden, and you determine whether he's telling the truth or not.
Ukraine and also China, there's polling by the Associated Press that shows that almost 70% of Americans, including 40% of Democrats, believe that you acted either illegally or unethically in regards to your family's business interests. Can you explain to the Americans, in this impeachment inquiry, why you interacted with so many of your son and brother's foreign business associates?
I'm not going to comment on that. I did not, and it's just a bunch of lies.
You didn't interact with many of their business associates?
I did not. There's lies.
Did you all see that? Watch him. Watch him, boy. He just thinks that they are stupid. And watch his hand. He threw his hand up at them like, you guys are such liars. I am not going to even discuss this with you all. They got the goods on the guy. I don't know. I'm a mother. I have 3 children, okay? I know that they can lie. And what's so good about it is, what's so good about Joe Biden is not only does he lie, he will not own up to his lies. He will tell you over and over again. He will put the blame on you. You're lying. What you're saying is a lie, even with all of the evidence. What's up with that? That means that they are good at what they're doing. And they're destroying this nation. And that is not good. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you all about Hunter Biden. Let me share with you what another organization says about Hunter Biden before we leave this topic. They are commingling finances, and there is absolutely no wall of separation between Joe Biden and his son. But they are going to lie like a rug, is what I say. These records are being released. They're being released by the banks and by different agencies, both direct and circumstantial. They are showing that the first son, Hunter Biden, did commingle his finances with Joe Biden during his time in and out of the White House. Now, they have an attorney, and he's a liar too. He's pushing back on the new House Oversight Committee evidence showing that Hunter Biden sent direct payments to his father from a bank account. You know, they have the checks. They have the checks. And yet Joe Biden is still lying. Okay, this is, look, just don't fall for it. And why are we concerned about this? We're concerned because Joe Biden is compromised. Joe Biden is compromised to a point where he's allowing he's allowing young people from China to enter our border, fighting age individual, not only from China, but from other countries around this nation. He's allowing these people to enter our border. And believe it or not, guys, you heard it from me right here, and I will go back and pull up the podcast later when it happens. When these people who are invading our borders, coming in, as they have done in Europe in various countries, They come in and they overtake the citizens. Their laws rule, not ours. Joe Biden is compromised. He cannot shut the borders. He cannot stop these people from coming in because they're going to tell off on him. He has been money laundering. And as a result of that, he has lost his effectiveness and his ability to protect the United States. And that's all I got to say about that. And it is disgusting. But let's get on to the other topic, because this other topic, man, it is cool. How many of you watched the debate last night? Guys, that debate, Vivek was on a roll. And I think he was on a roll because that was the last debate. So he may as well just let it all hang out. I'm going to play this for you in a second. But before I do, I just want to say, Vivek went out to Chris Christie. And I'm going to let you listen to it, and then I'm going to discuss it. Vivek went out to Chris Christie. Chris Christie can't win, but he thinks he's in there, and he is going to just try to embarrass President Trump.
So first of all, I think we just learned something from Chris Christie. We learned three things right there. First of all, Chris Christie also doesn't know what provinces in eastern Ukraine he actually wants us to fight for. Chris, your version of foreign policy experience was closing a bridge from New Jersey to New York. So do everybody a favor, just walk yourself off that stage, enjoy a nice meal, and get the hell out of this place. When it comes to Nikki, I think if you're going to actually send your sons and daughters to go die in somebody else's war, you better, excuse me, Chris, I'm speaking, and I'm not done yet. You had your chance, and we're going to be done. So listen up to this. If these people want to send your sons and daughters to go die in Ukraine, they've been arguing for it for a year. $200 billion of our taxpayer money sent over. Neither of them could even name for you the provinces that they actually want to protect. And this is the people who have been touting their so-called foreign policy experience. It is intellectual fraud. These people are lying to you. The same people who told you about weapons and mass destruction in Iraq to justify that invasion didn't know the first thing about it, yet they sent thousands of our sons and daughters to go die. The same people who told you the same in Afghanistan, where the Taliban is still in charge 20 years later. $7 trillion of our national debt due to these toxic neocons. You can put lipstick on a Dick Cheney, it is still a fascist neocon. You see that today. Dick Cheney all over again.
Guys, I've been listening to liberals who have watched that excerpt from the debate. And when he said you can put lipstick basically on a neocon, he's referring to what Sarah Palin said when she was running with John McCain in the 2008 election. Democrats, liberals, want to attribute that saying to Barack Obama. I'm here to tell you, Sarah Palin was the original person of that saying. But it was just interesting what Vivek said about Chris Christie. Chris Christie, his sole purpose in being in the election is to undermine President Trump. Vivek said Chris Christie, neither Nikki Haley knew about foreign policy, yet they are pushing. They are Republicans. They are neocons. They are members of the party who wants to keep us at war, to send our boys and girls, children to war, to fight for them. He says, Chris Christie, your version of foreign policy experience was closing a bridge from New Jersey to New York. So do everybody a favor and walk yourself off this stage. Enjoy a nice meal and get the hell out of this race. Whoa. Whoa. Those were fighting words there. Woo. Woo. And Chris Christie is not having any, he's not liking it. But that wasn't the only assault against Chris Christie. Megyn Kelly came after Chris Christie. And I want you guys to listen to this because this was a good one. I got this from Benny Johnson. Here is Chris Christie. Look at the, oh, you can't see it yet. All right, I'm bringing it up. Look at the expression on his face. He looks pissed. He looks pissed. But it gets even better than that, guys. Listen to the dialogue.
Even said that you got into this race just to stop President Trump. His approval rating with Republicans is currently at 81%. Yours is at 25%. Your best state is New Hampshire, and even there, 2/3 of GOP voters say they would be angry and disappointed if you won. Respectfully, Governor, you have not stopped Mr. Trump, and voters may wonder how you could possibly become the nominee of a party that does not appear to like you very much.
Well, look, Megyn, it's often very difficult to be the only person on stage who's telling the truth. And the only person who is taking on what needs to be taken on. I look at my watch now. We're 17 minutes into this debate, and except for your little speech in the beginning, we've had these three acting as if the race is between the four of us. The fifth guy, who doesn't have the guts to show up and stand here, he's the one who, as you just put it, is way ahead in the polls.
Even said that you got into this race just to stop President Trump. His approval rating with Republicans is currently at 81%. Yours is at 25%. Your best state is New Hampshire, and even there, 2/3 of GOP voters say they would be angry and disappointed if you won. Respectfully, Governor, you have not stopped Mr. Trump, and voters may wonder how you could possibly become the nominee of a party that does not appear to like you very much.
Well, look, Megyn, it's often very difficult to be the only person on stage who's telling the truth.
I don't think people like Chris Christie very much. Do you like Chris Christie? Let me know what you think about Chris Christie. I met him years ago in Memphis, Tennessee. He was brought here by the Shelby County Republican Party. That was when he was running. This was before Trump. They liked him then. But after he started becoming a traitor, people turned against him. What Ron DeSantis is saying and has said about Nikki Haley and Chris Christie, which many of my Shelby County supporters would not agree with. Ron DeSantis says, Chris Christie and Nikki Haley supports gender transition surgery for minors. Gender transition surgery for minors. I have to shake my head at that. That is not good. Now, Charlie Kirk is actually discussing Nikki Haley, and I'm going to show you one of the most noteworthy moments of the night when Vivek Ramaswamy attacks Nikki Haley. And I'm going to bring that up in a second. And when we are able to acquire enough money, I'm going to hire a producer. So when it's time for me to bring these screens up, you can get them immediately.
Mr. Ramaswamy, when discussing your Hindu faith in September, you seemed to take a shot at Ambassador Haley, who is also Indian American and who converted to Christianity as an adult. You said, an easy thing for me to do, being a politician, is to shorten my name, profess to be a Christian, and then run. Make Vivek Vicky or whatever, end quote. Are you questioning Nikki Haley's Christian convictions? Why has your campaign made a point of referring to Ambassador Haley by her given first name, Nimarata, even though she's gone by Nikki for her whole life?
Well, my whole deal is if Nikki Haley, of all people, should know how to pronounce my name correctly, the rest of the news media can learn it. My deal is I'll call her Nikki when she can say my own name right. That's our little fun side bet there. Here's what I will say is deeper. I don't question her faith, but I question her authenticity. And I think that's deeper here. We were just talking about the trans issue. This is a symptom of a deeper cancer in American life, identity politics. This new religion that says your race, your gender, and your sexuality are your identity. It is anti-American. It is meritocratic, it's anti-meritocratic, and it is dividing this country to a breaking point. And I've spoken about this to the left. My books are all about this. I've preached this to the left, but it's even worse when Republicans try to play the same game. We're talking about that trans issue. And Nikki Haley's campaign launch video sounded like a woke Dylan Mulvaney Bud Light ad talking about how she would kick in heels. At the first debate, she said that only a woman can get this job done. That's what she said. After the third debate, when I criticized Ronna McDaniel after 5 failed years of leadership of this party, and criticized Nikki for her corrupt foreign dealings as a military contractor, she said that I have a woman problem. Nikki, I don't have a woman problem. You have a corruption problem. And I think that that's what people need to know. Nikki is corrupt. This is a woman who will send her kids to die so she can buy a bigger house. This is the problem. Using identity politics more effectively than Kamala Harris is a form of intellectual fraud. And it actually needs to end. There's our donor puppet masters wielding their puppet right up here tonight. This is how this game is played. The puppet masters put up their puppet. And I reject the use of identity politics in this party. It has been a cancer coming from the left, and I'm sick and tired of the double standards the people of this country are too. Having 2 X chromosomes does not in and of itself criticism.
Whoa! He pulled off the gloves last night. He let it all hang out. Do you believe what he's saying? Some people say that was the end of Nikki Haley's campaign. I'd like to know what you think. I'm going to also let you guys hear Margaret Taylor Greene. She's speaking out because the NDAA conference was completed. And there is a 3,000-page conference report, which is supposed to be signed. She says Speaker Mike Johnson cut a deal with Chuck Schumer in a secret meeting. And here's what is supposed to be in it. Actually, here's what she's complaining about. $300 million for Ukraine is back in the bill. $300 million for Ukraine is back in the bill. Remember when I was talking about Joe Biden and him being compromised? I wonder how much dirt Ukraine has on him. In the bill is funding for abortion travel, funding for trans in the military and their surgeries, and removes all abortion and trans surgery prohibitions passed under Speaker McCarthy. It also would pass a clean FISA extension. That means it's going to pass a clean FISA extension saying that the FBI can further listen to you and spy on you. The NDAA also took out the Republican House members' provision giving a pay raise to junior military members E1 through E3. Those members need their money. They need a pay raise. Military members E1 through E6. No member of the NDAA conference had any influence on this process. It was done in secret, in a secret meeting, with no input from the conferees. And I'm going to let you guys hear what Margaret Taylor Greene has said herself about what actually transpired. And I want to encourage you all to contact your members. And I'm going to put that information up on the screen. Let me make this bigger so you won't miss anything. I guess that's as big as I can get. Listen carefully to what Margaret Taylor Greene has to say.
Merry Christmas, Patriots.
After
We're giving
the
away
ad.
free Donald Trump
Sorry
gold
about
bars
that.
to celebrate the
All right,
holiday.
here we go.
NDAA is complete. I have been assigned to be a conferee on the conference. Here, we're going to follow me. We're getting an elevator. And we didn't get to participate at all. As a matter of fact, the whole NDAA deal was made between Speaker Johnson, Chuck Schumer, and the House Committee. And people like me, we didn't get to participate. We were appointed to participate. To make sure no money for abortion, no money for trans, for members like me standing up for Americans who are sick and tired of funding the Ukraine war. We had taken the $300 million out of the defense bill. Well, let me tell you what the final product is in the deal that was made. So the policy is in place that funding is there for abortion travel. The policy is still in place for trans and the military and everything that goes with it. Democrat trans policy, Democrat abortion policy. $300 million for Ukraine is back in the NDAA, even though I had worked hard to take it out, it's back in. And furthermore, here's the worst news. It gets a clean FISA extension through April. No change to the FISA court whatsoever. Nothing changed, and that deal was made also. So just wanted to give you a heads up. I'll be flat out no to this NDAA, and I think it's outrageous that this happened with our Republican-controlled Congress.
Boy, you guys heard it. So what I'm going to ask you to do, I'm going to give you some homework. Remember, the price of freedom is constant vigilance. I'm going to ask you to reach out to your members. I'm going to ask you to contact your members and tell them how you feel about whether or not the bill should be passed. So let's see, contact U.S. Congress. Give you that number. If I can locate it again, I did have it. I can't find it now, guys. Listen, we need to reach out to these members, find your representative. Let's see if this will give me the information that I need. There is a page here which allows you to find your member in Congress. Directory of House members. There is a directory that you can access, which would allow you to contact your members. There's also a switchboard that you could contact also. Okay, so here is the directory of representatives, separated by state and district. And if you're my supporters, you already know this. You know how to get in contact with your members. So I'm asking you to reach out to your representative. Go to house.gov/representative. Reach out to your representative and tell them how you feel about the NDAA. It is a bill that actually supports our military, our federal government, but when they throw in items like this, you need to either speak with your representative and let them know how you feel. And if you don't feel that they should support that bill, let them know, because they need to know that you have their backs. And before I go, I want to share with you what we have on our website. Many of you already know I'm running for Congress. Well, we've got t-shirts. We've got t-shirts. If you go on my website, you can access those t-shirts. I'll tell you why I'm asking you to do this. It is because in order for me to win, I'm going to need your help. Many people have told me, okay, I'm going to help you, Charlotte. I'm going to help you, Charlotte. Well, one of the ways you can help me is to go to our Bergman for Congress page and order yourself a t-shirt or a hat or anything you want. When you support me and order any of these items, you support this channel, and then you tell the world that you want them to vote for Charlotte Bergman for Congress. So please help. Let's get the word out. Let's have lots of t-shirts walking around Shelby County saying vote for Charlotte Bergman. That's going to blow our liberal opponents away if they know that you are supporting me. So that's it for today. I hope that you guys are going to have a great Christmas. We will have more shows before the holidays, but right now I just want to say Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. And I just pray that you will have a blessed Christmas, whether you have a lot of money to buy gifts or are able to just make life happy for your children, or whether you're just going to be there with family and to enjoy family, because these are difficult times, but we are in a war. And even our parents who have been in wars, my father served in World War II. Those were difficult times for a lot of people, and then people were willing to make the sacrifices for war. It's going to be either freedom or no freedom. It's going to be either freedom or compromise. Please help us to maintain freedom, and please don't compromise. I want to thank you for joining me today. I look forward to talking with you next week, and as we bring to you more news, please share with your friends and neighbors and people that you know what's happening in our country, what's happening in terms of the corruption. Do your homework. Don't just listen to the news. Listen to, do more research by reading multiple newspapers, multiple channels. Do that and find out for yourself. Because many times, especially the channels like mine and like other channels that don't get their information directly from the mainstream media, we present information 2 and 3 weeks sometimes in advance of them disclosing the information. I was among the first people that said that Ukraine was going to lose the war against Russia. I was. I have to toot my own horn. Toot, toot. So anyway, thank you for supporting me. I appreciate you guys that hung in here to the end. I appreciate you so, so much. You guys take care. God bless you. Be good and hang in there. We are going to win this war, take our country back, and become a prosperous community and nation again.